morning students. Today we are going to study about respiration. As we have discussed that our life processes, various processes occurs in our body. One is we have already studied about it, that is nutrition, and today in the next one we are going to study about respiration. Students, it is a biochemical process in which the ready-made source of energy, glucose, is oxidized or broken down in the presence of oxygen to liberate energy. And this helps in providing us energy from the food taken by nutrition. Here what happen in respiration, as the food we have taken, that gives us glucose. That glucose burns with oxygen and helps in releasing energy. So we can also define respiration as a process of releasing energy from glucose by breakdown of glucose. Students, this respiration is of two types. It occurs in two ways. One is aerobic respiration and another one is anaerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration occurs in the presence of oxygen. It occurs in multicellular, highly organized organism, those who are able to get sufficient amount of oxygen. And anaerobic respiration generally occurs in those organisms whose body design is very simple and they lives in the place where generally absence of oxygen is there. So it happens in the lack of oxygen. There also energy is released. Here is the difference, that aerobic respiration gives more amount of energy, whereas anaerobic respiration gives very less amount of energy. Yes. So basics of respiration is food is used as a source of energy. Oxygen is required for the oxidation of that food and energy is released here as a result of oxidation of food that trapped in our cell as a form of ATP. The full form of ATP is adenosine triphosphate. What is ATP? ATP is the currency of energy stored in our body. ATP. Here it is adenosine triphosphate. It is the currency of energy which is released here in the process of respiration. Here students, see the equation. What happened in respiration? Food is react with oxygen. Why we breathe? We breathe oxygen gas and release carbon dioxide. So breathing is a part of respiration in which the glucose formed in our cell is oxidized and release energy. That energy is trapped in our body for doing different types of work. Along with this, carbon dioxide is released. This carbon dioxide is exhaled out from our nose as a part of breathing. So students, here is the reaction for respiration. And basics of respiration we have discussed now, that what is required in the process. It is food for gives us energy, oxygen for oxidation of that food, and carbon dioxide and water are produced here as a byproduct, or we can say it as a end product. So main thing which happens in respiration is that the breakdown of glucose molecule. As we have discussed here, that it occurs in, it is of two types. One is aerobic and another one is anaerobic. So in aerobic respiration, it can be defined as the breakdown of glucose into carbon dioxide and water inside the body cells by using oxygen to release energy. And we can also say that here the complete oxidation of glucose takes place in the mitochondria of our cell, whereas anaerobic respiration occurs in the absence of oxygen. Means when glucose is broken down without the use of oxygen, this process is called as anaerobic respiration. It is completed only in the cytoplasm of cells. Mitochondria do not play any role in it, and the breakdown of glucose is incomplete in anaerobic respiration. It breaks down into ethyl alcohol and carbon dioxide. Students, the anaerobic respiration generally occurs in bacteria and fungi. Now let's see that the glucose which we have taken as a food is how it breaks down. These are the different pathways by which the breakdown of glucose occurs. We can see here where this breakdown of glucose occurs. It occurs in the cytoplasm of our cell, and it is present in each and every organism, whether it is simpler one, bacteria, fungi, or the complex one, or with multicellular highly organized animals like human being, cat, dog, cow, elephant, these all. So let's see the glucose of 6 molecule. What is the formula of glucose here? Everybody knows. The formula is C6H12 and O6. How many carbon atoms are there? 6 carbon atom. It gets break down into our cytoplasm of cell as pyruvate, which has 3 carbon atom molecules along with energy. Okay. Then further this pyruvate is following these pathways and occurs in different organisms, like in absence of oxygen generally occurs in yeast. That process is also called as fermentation. So here this pyruvate gets breakdown into ethanol and carbon dioxide plus energy. The energy released here is very small in amount, as the organism is also very small, so it requires less energy. That much amount of energy is sufficient for them to sustain their life. Secondly, it occurs in our muscles also, where the lack of oxygen occurs. It forms lactic acid plus energy. So in here also the lactic acid consists of 3 carbon molecules. So we can also say that incomplete oxidation of carbon molecules occurs in anaerobic respiration. And these two are the types of here anaerobic respiration, whereas this is aerobic respiration, which occurs in presence of oxygen in our body. Breakdown of glucose occurs in cytoplasm of cell, whereas this breakdown of pyruvate occurs in mitochondria of cell, where the energy released is trapped further. It forms carbon dioxide, water and energy. Generally, it releases 38 ATP of energy. The energy released here is again trapped in mitochondria. In class 9th, you have studied that mitochondria is known as powerhouse of the cell. So, powerhouse of the cell is known because of energy trapped here. Energy is trapped in mitochondria. That's why it is called as powerhouse. It consists of energy and release it according to the body need. Carbon dioxide exhaled out from our body, and it also forms water molecule. So, and students, when this process occurs in lack of oxygen in our muscles, it forms lactic acid. This lactic acid also causes muscle cramp. We are saying it as a muscle cramp. Now, let's see when it occurs. It occurs during vigorous muscular activities, like when we are running very fastly, or brisk walking, or heavy exercises. These all require more energy, in our body. Means that our body during vigorous exercises or fast running, we need more energy. Therefore, for the demand of oxygen is also increased too for all these processes. But oxygen supply to our muscles remains unchanged. We are taking the as usual oxygen. So in shortage of that oxygen, our skeletal muscles respire anaerobically. That's why it is a part of anaerobic respiration, where lack of oxygen occurs and glucose gets break down into lactic acid and energy. This accumulation of lactic acid in our muscles cause muscles cramp. And how we get relief from it? You might have seen that after some time we get relief from the cramp also. If we take a hot bath or if we massage it with the lukewarm oil. During that time, the increased blood circulation and consequently oxygen supply occurs in the muscles, which gives us relief, as oxidation of lactic acid further takes place due to extra oxygen available there and relieves the cramp. So it is a kind of biochemical process which include the breakdown of food glucose molecule in absence of oxygen. Further release of energy and carbon dioxide occurs by eliminating the carbon dioxide from it. This is all about students respiration and its type. Now your homework is to write down the difference between aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration by yourselves. This is all for today. Have a nice day and be safe at your home.